you guys hear that? Okay, cool. So Vivian already dropped the link to this form in the chat, and I think everyone was here when she did. So yeah, it's the Google Forms link that's in, well, it's just like a check-in link for you guys to get access to the slides after the workshop and the recording. Okay, this is just like a quick evolution of Google Images thing. Like the logo of Google, how it's changed from like 1997 to like now. Honestly, like the minimalist look is like, my opinion, but yes. Okay. Yeah, so we'll start off with Google Docs first. So the subtitles to my portion will be, yeah, Vivian just linked the subtitles, so you guys will be able to read along with it if you want. Or what we'd suggest doing right now is splitting the Zoom call into like half a screen window. So minimizing it on your end so that you can follow along with a separate new Google Doc on the side. So for now, I will stop sharing and then switch over to my Docs subtitles. Okay. So this is the Google Docs portion. So I'm sure that Google Docs is like one of the most used applications within G Suite. So before we get started, this is just like a mini table of contents that has like bookmarks to different sections within the subtitles. The bookmarks are just like a way to like demonstrate how to use them, I guess, that and I'll cover them later on in this walkthrough. So before actually delving into the basics, these are the resources that I pulled some of the functionalities that I didn't know about before from. So it just has a few tips that if you guys think that it would be helpful for you guys to see in like a different compiled format, then that's available for you guys. And now to go into the basics. So you'll notice that I split up some of the functionalities into basics and extras. Basics are just, I think, valuable like shortcuts for people who are using just Google Docs as a way to write things like lab reports, essays, things like that. So just useful in any aspect as like a cornerstone. So the first thing to go over is probably, oh, okay, someone just joined. Editing versus suggesting mode. So this is, I think, something that I use mostly when I was not the owner of the document that I was like looking at. So editing, generally the rules are that editing is for when you don't need someone else's permission to make changes to the document. So you have some form of ownership over it. And suggesting is for when you only want to leave like comments or like suggestions for what you think should be added onto the document. And the owner of the doc can choose to actually implement those at their own discretion. And finally, viewing is kind of like an easy way, I guess, for you to share a document without having to export it into a different format like PDF that doesn't, I guess, have the cursor editing functionality attached to it. And now the second tip is to use the built-in word count tool, especially when you're like writing essays for that require you to go up to like a character count. So in order to do that, that's basically the shortcut for that is Command-Shift-C. So that just shows like the details of the pages, words, characters excluding spaces. And you always want to enable this display word count while typing because you just don't want to have to do the Command-Shift-C every single time that you want to look at the word count. And each highlighted portion shows like the word count of what text you want to count. And something that I guess varies depending on the word counter. There are some online ones that measure this depending on like the number of spaces within the form within the text. But Google Docs built-in one is smart enough to know that hyphens don't count as different words. So I guess depending on like the specifications of the essay that you want, just keep in mind that this is probably a more accurate way to measure word count. And a general tip is also to turn on offline mode. So this is an extension that I think you need on Chrome to be able to enable this on through file and make available offline. So basically, this is for when you know that you're not going to be when you're going to be in a place that doesn't have like Wi-Fi and you have something that you want to work on. So basically, just saves a local copy of that document onto your machine, but you can only do it with one set Google account. So you have to make sure that this is enabled for the specific account that you want the doc to be edited in, if that makes sense. Um, and now the next tip is for mobile. I know that offline mode is also an option for mobile because there's a toggle button, I think, at the top when you go into the dock, and then you go into the upper rightmost options, and that's an option to turn it on to offline mode. So on mobile, when you're editing, it's kind of hard to be able to tell like how your TA or like professor, whoever's going to look at your doc later, can see it on the laptop. So the way to do that would be to toggle print view to see what it would look like from laptop. And something really important that covers, I guess, Command K, just editing links, adding links, and the bookmarks and headings is this function. So Command K on Mac lets you copy paste links to specific parts of text. So it's just something for easy readability. And I'll go more into the options that appeared when I pressed Command K. And so the first thing that I want to cover is bookmarks. So that's what I mentioned that I had up here. So these are all bookmarks that lead to different parts of the page when I click on them. So um, yeah. In order to create a bookmark though, what you have to do first is you highlight the text that you want to become a bookmark, because you have to have something that you want to insert into the Command K file. So to do that, you go to insert, and then you go to bookmarks. Unfortunately, there's no keyboard shortcut for this, but basically now it's a bookmark. So you press Command K here, and then you'll see that there's a bunch of docs that appear here, which means that you can actually technically have multiple Google Docs like accessible from within one doc. So you don't have to you don't have to go to your drive to open up a separate doc every single time you want to access a related document. But for bookmarks, you go into headings and bookmarks, and then you see the bookmark that I just created, which is this one. So upon clicking on this one, your cursor is like led down to here. And something else to cover is that when you see Command K here, there's also headings and bookmarks. So headings are what happen, I guess sometimes they're automatically generated from Google. Sometimes you have to like do them manually. They're kind of finicky, and it's usually best to do them manually. Like in this example, I just like randomly chose table of contents and basics to be headers and titles. So to make something a header, you want to, again, highlight the text that you want to become a header, and then you insert headers and footers. And this is the shortcut for creating a header, but wait, not a header. What am I saying? A heading. Headings and headers are different. I will cover both, but headings are something different. So in order to do this, you just change this from a normal text style to a heading style. And what the headings 1, 2, and 3 mean are that basically the text that you highlight is going to be changed to this font size and font style. But if you want to retain the font style and font size that you already have in the text that you highlight, then you just update heading 1 to match. And these different heading numbers don't have any differences. It's just that like it's for your convenience, I guess, so that you don't have to change different headings like every single different heading styles every single time you want to create a new one. There's no prioritization. And the next useful tip, I think, is just adding a comment. So I hate having to like write a lot and then just like go up here and like um, use my mouse to add a comment. So the quick way to add a comment is to do Command Option M. So it just lets you add a comment, or like I'll add something about the adding others with the at function later. But next, for when you have essays that are usually in Emily format, one of the requirements that they have is that headers are, they have like the page numbers and your last name. So I think I always like kind of found it finicky to do that. So the correct way to do this is that you insert page numbers up here, and that gives you the option of making a different first page as well as just keeping like the page numbers there. But to add your last name to before the page number, you just add that and it automatically applies it for all the different pages. Though if you selected this option and you put the last name here, it would only stay for the last name would only apply to the first page. Yeah. And so the next 10 through 17 are kind of just quick keyboard shortcuts. So I'll cover highlighting text, and to increase the font size of highlighted text, you just do like Command Shift period, and then to reverse that, Command Shift comma, copy pasting. Sometimes I know that a lot of the times when I'm filling out like answers for Google Forms, when I'm copy pasting the questions from the forms into the Google Docs, the spacing and formatting of the questions often gets messed up. And most of the time, you might think that it's because of like the single or like double spacing, but usually it's like this, that's the issue. So just to be conscious of the removing space after item and removing space before item as well when you're switching from different formats is just something to keep in mind. To indent quickly, the function is to press Command open bracket to go back and indent, and to go forward and indent, use, well, the famous tab or Command and close bracket. And you might ask why this is a shortcut, even because tab is obviously faster than using both Command and close bracket. But usually, if you don't want to, if you find that you've tabbed like one too many times and don't want to have to delete the entire numbered format to go back, you can just use the going back and indent shortcut for the Command and open bracket to address that. And I guess just superscripts and subscripts, because I always find it annoying to have to copy paste from a different form to transfer the subscript and superscript format. You would just use Command period and to add a superscript, and a Command comma to add a subscript. And word count I've already covered, and just a reminder to make sure to enable live word count. And the live word count only applies to the entire, like all of the words on the page. And just to edit images on docs. So this is in the case of like having data presented in graphs or tables. If you want to be able to edit the images before inserting, I think, okay, so the way to do that is you have the image that you want to upload from your computer. I'll just, example, CS32 notes, beautiful. If I want to edit this, the way to do that is to Command Z, so cut that, and then insert it back as a drawing that you edit. So you make a new drawing, and then you copy paste the image that you cut into the drawing, and then you can draw on it, highlight certain parts of it, whatever. Yeah. And to actually draw in it, you have to enable scribble and then like whatever, that's a drawing. And so that's an edited image that you're able to use and embed within Google Docs. And finally, just to review all these keyboard shortcuts, there's guide with command and /. But the ones that I've included in like this doc subtitles are just the ones that I think are the most relevant and most useful for just general docs usage. And this is another comprehensive just docs guide based on like what editor you're coming from. So for example, if you're transferring from Microsoft Word to Google Docs, how to like what functions equal what, things like that. And I'd just like to mention that this is an accessibility guide. So to make sure, so sometimes you don't want to exploit, all the headings and whatever like bookmarks, command Ks that are available because you think it's a hassle, you don't need them. But sometimes it's necessary to, it's in best practice to use as many accessibility, follow as many accessibility guidelines as possible by using things like alt text, using tables to present data, high color contrast images, according to a tool that I think you can find online. So this contrast ratio tool, for example, shows color contrast for text versus like the background color, things like that. And specifically for the command K command, something to keep in mind is to use succinct and detailed text that you want to highlight and embed a link to. So for example, this does not specify what the link leads to, but a contrast ratio tool, that phrasing clearly conveys what this link actually leads to. And also know how to export to different formats. So one of the earliest things that I covered was editing and changing modes to like view. But generally, it's in better practice to just straight up convert the file to PDF, JPG, whatever format that you might find useful, since those are more accessible on like different machines. And also, the optimal text size and alignment is just make sure to keep your font large, not too small for other people to read, and just keep things left aligned because justifications mess up spacing and it just makes it kind of harder for people to read. Also use lists. Make sure to be mindful of what kind of numbered list or like bullet pointed lists that you want to use. Is it helpful to number things, or can you just make do with bulleted lists? Things to consider. And like I mentioned in the beginning, make sure to use things like bookmarks, headers, footers, and page numbers to let people access information within the doc quickly, not only for yourself, but also for whoever's editing or might see the document later. And the last thing to cover for docs is just like a few extras. So these are a lot of extensions that are available for Google Docs. And well, the first one doesn't have anything to do with extensions. It's just to make sure that you look through all the fonts, because as much as people like this on Comic Sans and other like famous fonts like Arial, it's just nice to have a font that you default to when you're using Google Docs. And for the next tip, just I guess if you're working in the dark, I think Google Docs Mobile has this built in, but there's a dark theme that you can use for Docs specifically that's available through this extension. And also, you can see that there are version histories up here, and it's just helpful to keep track of the edits or the history that you and others have made for each file. And I think this is LaTeX, it might be pronounced LaTeX. But for equations for chemistry and math, it's helpful to have that as a built-in tool as well. And I think there's an extension for that as well. And the right side bar add-ons. So this, I'm sure, is a bar that's like that isn't that commonly used, but it's still useful for things like assigning yourself tasks to like do things and just keep like a keep checklist as well as like a Google Calendar to see like what events you have going on and like when you can time out things that you want to do on the Google Doc for yourself on the calendar. And also add tasks to do for yourself for each document. That is just a helpful tip. And finally, assigning tasks to Google collaborators. So for example, if you share this document to someone else and you want them to do like a specific part of like the document's work, then you just add a comment and then you at their name. So you add, I don't know, someone else. And then you're able to assign that as a task to them. It doesn't just show up as a comment. But yeah, that's it from my end for Google Docs. And now we'll stop for a little bit for Q&A. Yeah, I'll just scroll up to here and pause sharing for a little bit.
Christine, Rithika asked a good question. How do you change the default font?
Oh, wait, hold on. Let me reshare my screen. To change default font, I think you just go into, I think, more fonts, and I think there's an advanced option that lets you change like the fonts that show up. So you might have to change your font from Arial to like whatever default font is to like your preferred font every time you open a new document, but you can order them so that like that's the first thing that shows up, I believe. Okay. Yeah. Any more questions? Okay. If not, then I will stop sharing and we can move on to the next.
All right, so now we're going to Google Drive, which I think is one of the most underrated things in G Suite because it's the hub of everything you do. Christine, can you send subtitles?
Yep. I will get the sharing link right now. And
all right, and so we're going to be toggling between two drives. We're going to go through my UCLA drive, and then we're going to go through my personal. And I've made sure to not expose myself too much with what I have on my drive. And so, did you send subtitles?
Yep.
Okay, awesome. And so, the first thing you should see on your subtitles are just some Google Workspace links that just have like a bunch of, it's like Google's G Suite workshop basically in Google form. But we're going to talk about folder organization. And so I'm going to use my personal because I have a bit more. If you really want to be really organized on G Suite, you have to have everything in your life on G Suite. Don't be like me and be dumb and have like half my life on like my C drive and like half my life on G Suite. It's really inconvenient because then I forget which one's where. So don't be like me. It's going to be a lesson of today. Like I'm going to be the mistakes and we're going to learn from my mistakes. And so don't be like me and have gray folders. Be like me and have colored. Oh God, this is blue. If you know me, color is not my forte. But you can change your colored folders if that's like your thing. And then making sure like if you do have your life on G Suite, make sure you have like folders within folders if like that's your thing. I don't recommend having everything on Google Drive because that can get hectic. But you know, you can do like a nice like rainbow folder thing if like that's your deal, and you can do that too. As long as you make sure if you make folders, then you use them. Because if you're like me and just makes folders for classes and then does none of the work for the class, there's no point of having a folder. All right, sorry, I have to print this out because my mouse can't scroll. And so on your subtitles, there should also be some keyboard shortcuts. Those are probably helpful if you have like a keyboard. Everyone should. And so now we're going to go into searching your drive, which I think is really cool because if you're like me and can't remember the title of things, you can like click for whatever the type of what doc you want to like search for. You can search for like name. And so I have like a bunch of like things I was not planning to show you by typing in one. But if you go down to this like little arrow right here, you can actually search like a lot of different things. And like, even if you don't know the title, you can be like, let's say my Google Doc has the word like queer hacks in it, and I can like search for a doc that has that out. I just looked at it and it was the first thing I thought of. And so it's just like really like I didn't know about this, and I was like, oh, would have saved me hours. But yes, the main thing I will be covering is shared drives. What's going on in the chat? Yes, you are, Rithika. This is my school drive. As you see, I do not use it enough. I also found out this. I didn't know this was a thing. Create your own personal workspace. I haven't clicked it, so we're gonna click it together. Create your workspace. Okay. Let's see. I haven't done this before. Get started. Okay. Okay. So basically, what's happening is like you can just be like, "This is my math workspace," and be like, "This worksheet." Okay. Yes. Let's insert it. Okay. Cool. So now I have a workspace. I guess I don't know if that's something handy to you. I've never seen it before until about 10 minutes ago. So you live and you learn. Okay, so let's create a shared drive. I've actually never done this either, so I really hope this process is happy with me today. Let's do this. Oh God. Shared drive. Shared drive. Name your stuff better than I do, please. Where'd it go? Oh gosh. What? Okay. Well, you can put whatever files in you want in a shared drive. I'm sure all of you have experience with shared drives in like your classes and stuff. Yes, you can put the like all your grouped files in a workspace. So like if you want to go into your computer and be like, I'm working on CS32 because God knows why. Have your CS32 workspace. I don't know. I wouldn't want to have one either. So if we manage our members, there's no one in my shared drive. But if you see right here, I'm a manager of like the shared drive. And so if I invite someone, I can make them not manager. Make them like all these different things. And so if I bring on, give me a second, let me just move a thing. All right, you should see the subtitles now, correct? Yes, okay.
Yeah, you can.
So, oh God, why did I move slides? I meant to move drive. We're in drive. Okay, yes. So if we basically go over, this is basically all the roles you have in your shared drive. So you can make sure like if you really don't want someone to see something like or like touch something, then like you know you can be like you can only be a commenter or reviewer. And then it's generally good practice to not have everyone be a manager, because then that creates a lot of problems. Because as you can see, managers have the most like ability to do everything, and so everyone doing everything is chaos. So I don't recommend that. So definitely like split it up correctly, or how it pertains to how you use your shared drive. You know, and so just like general shared drive etiquette is like don't put things that do not belong in the shared drive in the shared drive. You know, like only put things that pertain to it there. Name it correctly because like if other people are seeing it and like have no idea what you're gonna name it, as long as like they can like figure it out from the title. And then also have folders and shared drives because like why not? And then you can color code them. And so yeah, that's kind of it for me in terms of drive. Christine,
Yeah, and
are there any questions about shared drive before we move on?
Mhm.
Good, cool. Okay, Christine, back to you.
Sharing. Let me pull up Fun. I haven't really used it enough either. So basically, to maximize the like capabilities of Drive, you want to include a lot of like Chrome extensions. So for example, you have here this Google Drive opener. So it basically lets you create like Google Drive files like really easily from your browser, and like things like saving to Google Drive, converting things from like what Microsoft to Google, because doing that is important. And to make best use of Google Drive, so you want to maximize like what you're doing with Google Drive. So basically, it's best practice to use a lot of folders to just keep yourself organized, and also make sure to name your folders with like a set, I guess, like naming system. or like color system that works for you. Something that's also helpful is to do things like adding shortcuts in your drive. So if you open up the same like files a lot or folders a lot, then you can create a shortcut to Drive. So that makes it easier for you to like access it in a place that is most comfortable for you to find it from. And you can also delete the shortcut just by like right clicking and removing the like shortcut that you've routed the file to. You can also do things like utilizing the open with option for each like file that you have. So for example, if you have like a PDF or image, which I don't have here, but I don't trust my drive enough to search through it right now. So basically what that does is that it helps you like it like lets you open files with different formats. So I think maybe, yeah, it's basically things like open with AppSheet, Google Sheets. I've never used AppSheet in my life before, but things like that for PDFs are generally more useful. You can also do things like setting expiration dates on like access to files. So I don't know if like if you don't want someone to be able to access your document after like whatever Sunday when your file is due to a project, then you can do things like share, and then you enter. Okay, if my internet is fast enough. Okay. Uh-oh, this isn't my file, so I won't actually add a person, but basically you can do things like, for example, let's shoot, can I add myself? I don't know who this person is. They are the scapegoat. So things like, I think you can click on the person that you add. I won't actually add a person, but after you add them, there's an arrow that appears next to their name, and you can change that to temporary access and then set an expiration date from there. I can't actually add anyone right now. And you can also do things like marking a shared file as final. So this just means that people can only, who like were previously able to edit and comment, can only view the file. So how that works is you just name like a file with the prependix of square bracket final, like capital Final, and then close bracket. And that's just automatically done for you. You can also do things like transfer ownership of files. So going into sharing permissions again, if I add myself as an editor, I can change that so that my other personal account is now the owner instead of, oh, wait, it's saying that there's an error because that's my personal account. It's not linked to ucla.edu. But if you have someone else, like another student that you want to change the ownership of the document to, you're able to do that. And know your storage options, I guess, would be the last part. So know that any Gmail account gets like 15 gigabytes of storage space, and that's like a lot of stuff. But also, if you do things like save videos to your school account, that racks up quickly. So just keep track of things like that. And there are also different storage options that you can buy for your account, but that's if you really need it. Generally, 15 gigs is enough. And that is also it for my section on Drive. So are there any questions?
I had a question. I don't know if you explained it, but there was that priority thing on the top left of like your UCLA thing, but it's like not in my personal account. So like I had to go to my UCLA account for it. Like what specifically is that for? And like why is it there only in my UCLA account?
Go ahead. Do you want to answer?
Oh, no, sorry. You can go ahead.
Okay. So basically when I clicked priority, it was basically just the workspaces I made were in the priority section.
Okay.
I don't know why it's only on an EDU, but it's just certain things, I guess.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
EDUs are weird, kind of. That's why I don't use mine as much as I should.
There was a way for us to like create what is it, shared drives without having a .edu, but I mean, I guess that's just the way things are with Google.
Okay, are we ready for slides? I'm so excited.
Yes.
I can't sleep at night because I'm so excited about slides, guys. It's crazy.
Yeah,
but I
subtitles.
yeah. Okay. So I guess if I have to like make some slides to like talk about slides, I guess. But you can see this. Yes. Okay. Cool. All right. So basically, before you start anything with your slides, you have to like know what vibe you're going for. Like, are you gonna go super businessy? Like that's cool. Like you can do that. Or are you gonna go like casual PowerPoint party night where you're like half drunk with your friends? They're very different vibes, and so you need to make sure which one you're going for, or else it's gonna be really confusing. And don't mix it up. Like if you're going for school report, like stay school report. Like don't go half school report, half like PowerPoint meme night, you know. And so I just want to emphasize that like even though your slides may look really nice, like if your info is like not there, like you're not going to be able to save it. Like you kind of have to have your shit together. If not, just call me and I'll help you get your shit together. But your info needs to be logical and organized. People don't really listen to slides that many times. That's why we have like 3 slides because I was like, no one's gonna listen. But yeah, just make sure it makes sense and then you should be fine. So let's talk about creating slides. We're gonna click this link. I'm sure many of us have clicked on. And we're gonna go here. And now you're just gonna click one of these that you like and just be like, I like this one. We're gonna make a copy. Okay. Do you want to give a pick? Which one should we do? Let's do a really weird one. These are normal. This one a bit triggering. Christine, pick one. Which one do you like?
Let's do the classic Hello World.
Where is that? Where's that?
Oh wait, within infographics or?
Any slides? Oh, there are infographics here too. Cool.
Yeah.
Let's just do this one.
Yeah, Hello World.
Oh, Hello World. Okay. All right, and then we're gonna click this button. Oh God. Where'd you go? Where did you go, my dude? Oh, free download. Oh my gosh. Missed it. It was right in front of me. Coffee. Yes, I love to make a coffee. Da, da, da. Okay, cool. Now we're here. You can still see this, right? You can see my Hello World. Okay, cool. So now I can just be like, my slides are done. No one else is going to listen to anything after I say this because you're just going to go to this website and you're going to have everything you need. So I wish I could end here, but we are not ending here. I promise. So look, let's say let's do this. This is a bit easier. So you have a lot going on right now. You have like 55 plus slides, and look at this. Like, what is this? You're not going to use this. Sorry. Because I'm a bigger advocate for not using this because sometimes it takes more time to delete everything you don't want than to create something you do want. Because like if you're gonna do like a school report, like are you gonna use a map? Maybe you may. But for the most part, you're not going to use all these different slides and you're going to spend maybe hours of your life deleting everything you don't like, which is fine because it does save a lot of time, even though you're deleting a lot of things. And so quickly deleting, just like I would suggest going to this one and just like highlighting everything, dude. Not moving it, but highlighting. But I cannot end slides there because even though everyone only uses this, we should talk about slides. Because you can create your own, I think we forget some days, even though none of us like to. And to be honest, I don't like to either. And I only had to create these slides that we have today because there's no Google template slides on SlideScope. But if there were, I would have used it. Okay, and so let's talk a bit more about design. Don't do this. Don't put words in a text, or don't put text on a slide and no images. Just don't do it. But look, you can read the words and then see what they say. But did you send subtitles? You did. Okay, cool. Let's start making a drive or slides. Okay, sure. Let's create here. Christine, pick a name. What am I going to name my slides?
Man, marshmallow.
Marshmallow. Okay. Did you know marshmallows are actually plants?
What?
The marsh of the mallow. The mallow of the marsh. It's a plant. No, I'm not joking. No, Google it.
It's an actual plant.
Yes. Oh no, this was a mistake. I shouldn't have exposed my search history either. Okay, yes, it's made from sugar, but like no marshmallow plant. Guys, plant. It's a plant.
Wait, it's so pretty.
I'm not a liar, Desiree. I'm
Traumatized.
Okay, fun fact of the day: marshmallows are plants, so you can call them vegetables when you eat them. Okay. Yeah. Okay, back to slides. So you can pick one of these themes. They're chill. You can. They're not bad, but I think everyone does. But also everyone uses slides go. But we're gonna stick to black and white. So you're gonna want your title and all your blah blah blah. But we're gonna go into master slide. So we're gonna go down here, slide, edit the master. And so I don't know if many of you seen this before, but your master slide has basically everything you need. And it'll save you a lot of time when you like need to add one super small thing to all your slides. So let's say I want this. Personally, I don't like these being smaller font. Just my opinion. So I can change this font and it'll just automatically update to all the other ones. And so I won't need to like go in and like each one like do it. If you're using Slides Go, the master slide does not work as well because with Slides Go, it's like, where did my Hello World thing go? Oh, is it this? No, did I lose my Hello World? Rip. Is it on this one? No. Oh well. Guess I didn't want to be here anyways. So basically just use your master slide. It'll make everything easier if you're creating your own. So now that you have kind of like the format you want, you kind of want to split up your slides in terms of like layouts. So, you see your title slide, right? And so you're only going to really have like maybe like one or two of these. I don't usually go past those. But, you can have your double column. As long as you just vary your structure, you can also see it like if I get out of here, you can see more layouts. Like if you control M as a new slide, you can do like apply layout. And so they'll have like different ones. And so generally the one most of us use is title and body, which is just like this simple one and this simple one. But you can do a lot more things with it as well. Like some people really like this like 2-column thing going on. And they make that for you. And so my whole life, I've like literally copied and pasted like one box and like moved it to the side when I should have just like done this, which is fine because it happens, Let's see. So let's insert some images. Let's go. Where's my Explorer? Image. And so you can pick from anywhere you want, basically. But if we search the web, you can search for images like on your Google slide thing. And so we're going to do marshmallow. Modern marshmallows don't contain marshmallow root anymore. See, that's tragic. But why are you trusting Google? Christine, we're doing a GC workshop. Why are we trusting Google? Okay, marshmallows. Wait, that's not how you spell marshmallow. Oh, wait, that's the other one.
It is. Wait. Oh.
Are we talking about the food? I was talking about the food.
Yeah, the food.
Okay, so it's pretty easy to just like search for images on your thing. It's not as, I would say this searching for images is more like stock pictures, not more than that really. So if you're looking for some clean stock pictures, like that works. So let's insert it. Okay. Oh geez, it's a big ass marshmallow. Okay. All right. So now we can do some things with our images. Freaking move my page. Okay, let's do format options, and we're gonna give our marshmallow a little shadow. Can you even see it? Okay, pause. Oh, you can see it a bit. Okay, let's make it. Look, you can give it a shadow. You make it really blurry. Fun fact, in like before Google Slides did this, you would have to like literally get a PNG of like a blurred background and like overlay them. But now they integrated it together, which is very nice of them. And so you can do that really quickly with your images as well. And then we can reflect it. Oh God, I want my transparency. No transparency. Basically just flips it over. Simple. But then you can also mask your image in a certain shape. And so this is usually where you have your crop image, which probably most of us use. But this little arrow next to it is mask image. And I can make this marshmallow in the shape of an arrow. Maybe that's what you want to do. I'm not going to judge you if that's what you want to do. Like that looks cool, I guess. So yeah, those are for images. Don't judge me, Desiree. No, why are you judging me? Okay, anyway. Not me. Okay, you can do that. We're gonna insert some diagrams because sometimes you need that. So you can actually like most of it's already on Google Slides. Like you can like have a grid in Latin if that's what you're into. I don't know why they're always in Latin first, but you can basically change how many like things you want and like your color, which again, not my forte, so I will not touch that. But then, you know, like there's different types of things. Let me create a new slide. Your hierarchy. I don't know if you ever need a hierarchy, like a tree branch thing. That's cool. I think the timeline is probably the most helpful one. No, we're not talking about binary trees. No. That is not allowed here. Get that out of here. So I think the timeline is probably the most useful if you're using Google Slides because it's just like a nice kind of like breakup of like text and images. And there's a lot of different types that they have, which is pretty cool. Oh gosh. What is this one? I don't know what kind of graph this is, but like cool too. Okay. I think the most important thing is like you can put a chart. Is there a chart? You can put like charts on here as well. And they're integrated. The really great thing about everything G Suite is like they're all integrated together. So like I have this like bar chart thing, but I can change the data. If I open the source, it'll take me to a sheet, and you can like change this to whatever number you want. Oh God, it's working. Working so hard, G Suite. And blah blah blah. Okay, and so basically, if I change one of these numbers, it will like update like for you if you link them together. So if you make sure that your chart on your sheets and your actual sheet itself data is linked, then the moment you change your sheet, it'll like automatically change for your slides. So you don't have to worry about that, I guess, which I think is pretty cool. Okay. Quick things. Add sound, add video when it is necessary. Like don't overdo it. Depends on your vibe. Like once again, add transitions if it fits the vibe. Generally for professional ones, you don't want to because it's going to make people dizzy. But if it's your like meme power party night, like PowerPoint party night, like go for it. Like just go ham and like that's how you're gonna win, you know. And then last thing I really want to do is we're gonna present. So now you see this like chart thing. Do you see the box that just popped up? Yes. Okay. So these are your speaker notes. And so you can, if I like put, you know, your speaker notes are generally like located down here. And so you can see them, and they also tell you the time, which is really great when you're actually presenting a thing, to make sure like you're following the time limit that you need. And you can see the next slide, the slide and stuff. But this one's fun. Okay, let's start a Q&A. So I'm gonna create an app or a link, and then I'm gonna copy this link. God, it's called Marshmallows. Are you serious? Okay, can you go to this link? Copy link. Oh gosh. Okay. Can all of you see what's going on? What's going on? And so if all of you go to this link, I hope that one works. It's a really weird, nasty link. Oh my god. If you ask a question, you can ask it anonymously. Ask me questions, guys. I don't know what that is, Desiree. Wait, can you send the link? Does the link I sent above work?
Where did you send it to? It's not in chat.
Is it not? Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
Copy link. Does this work? Oh, God.
I don't think
There it is.
Oh, okay.
Does that work?
Yes.
Okay. Can all of you send questions? And any question you ask, I will answer honestly. So if you ever wanted to know anything secretive about me, I will answer it right now. But as what is that? No worries. Basically, I can ask you. You can basically ask questions. Okay. We're gonna move back here. So if you generally, the S button is for speaker notes. The A button is for questions. And so can you still see this box?
Yeah, we
I hope
can.
so. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So if I click this present, you can actually see the question on the slide. Is a saddle point an attractor? I don't know what that means. Sorry. Next question. Cool. I can thumbs up, or I guess I can. What is a question? That is a good question, Smriti. Honest opinions on s'mores. They're okay. They're a bit messy. But you know, they fit a vibe, and like you eat it when you go to the beach and it's like dark and you go camping. But like it's messy for me. Sorry. Oh, are we on the marshmallow thing? Is that what's happening? I like okay, tangent s'mores are great. I'm not okay, great. Hide. Is marshmallow a type of marshmallow? That's a trick question. How you people? Thank you. What is a tomato? That's right. A tomato is a tomato. What? What are these questions? Okay. Are peeps good? I've never had one. What are peeps the Easter bunny thing?
Yeah, they're like the sugary, like marshmallow ones that are like even
I've
sweeter
never
than sugar.
had one. My bad. Okay, what type of socks do you like wearing the most? Ankle high black socks. Only black. Okay, cool. All right. And then I can end this Q&A. I can turn it off. And we are reaching time, but the subtitles go, I think, a lot more in depth on like actual like keyboard shortcut stuff and like inserting links and slide numbers, which I couldn't exactly cover because I don't want to like go over time. But I think I did the gist of it. You get it. As long as you make your slides look pretty and you have the right information, it's okay. You know, like people are not really going to remember your slides, and that's okay. Unless they're really great, then they're going to remember it, and that's good. So yes. Basically, like last few notes for G Suite, like to get good at it, you just have to use it, and you have to like make mistakes and be like me and just click around and like mess things up, and then find a way to fix it, and then you'll be fine. You just have to use it. You know, it's a tool that you should have to use. And so, Christine, you'll send the feedback form link, I believe, and then other tech community events to RSVP2 because our community is so great, and we're owning all the Tuesdays until week 6. So I don't know if Karina wants to give her spiel about the salary negotiation or Ruth wants to do hers. The RSVP links will be sent out. So yes.
Hey,
Huh.
I
Hi,
can
Karina.
plug.
Yes, do the plug.
Yes. Tech committee we're collaborating with advocacy committee and we're putting on a salary negotiation workshop. One of the career center faculty will be giving a cool presentation. So yeah, come by.
All right. Ruth, you want to do your spiel?
Yeah, we're also, Tech Committee is doing a collaboration with the Makerspace. Remember them? The cutting workshop. So it's like a 2-part series. The first workshop, we're gonna teach people how to use Adobe Illustrator to create designs of like acrylic earrings or keychains that in the next workshop, the Makerspace can actually like laser cut those earrings and keychains and then ship them to you. So
All right.
yeah, it's RSVP for that.
Christine, are you sending RSVP links or do you want me to?
No, I'll do it.
Okay. And then next week we get, or not next week, week 4, we get to do episode 2 with Google Sheets, the big monster, / Excel, because they're basically the same thing. But if you're like me and puts proficient in Excel on your resume and it's not really true, make sure you come out to episode 2, week 4. Same link. So yeah, oh, that's a thing. Everything. Any last questions on slides, Drive, docs? No? I know I kind of rushed slides, but anything? We're good? All right. So many tabs open. My gosh.
Yeah. I know some people specifically said that they wanted us to cover like sheets. So yes, we'll be going in depth that next episode. Thank you guys.
Perfect. I think you can stop the recording now.
Yeah.